As we approach November, the United States government is still shut down. There is some talk of hope around getting it reopened, specifically because as elections are now ongoing, the Republicans are finding it difficult to continually defend their position surrounding the shutdown. Their attempts to brand it as the Democrat shutdown have not been as effective as they'd hoped they'd be, and Speaker Johnson is still making public appearances insisting that the Republicans are not in control of the government, despite Republicans controlling the executive branch, both houses of the legislative branch, and functionally the judicial branch.
The Democrats are required to open the government. They keep saying Republicans are in charge of government. We aren't, not in the Senate. 60 votes control the Senate, not a bare majority.
The argument they're attempting to make is that even though Republicans control both houses of Congress, which by the way is the reason why Johnson even has the job that he has, they don't have enough of a majority to truly control it outright. They don't have the votes. However, the Democrats are the ones in Washington waiting to negotiate with Republicans to work on a deal. The Republicans aren't even there, and they've said that they won't even go to a negotiating table unless Democratic leaders just outright relinquish their demands. That's not how negotiating is supposed to work. Similarly, Johnson has not called the House into session, something that Republicans have even criticized him for, and he has yet to swear in the Democratic Congressperson-elect from Arizona, Adelita Grijalva.
He keeps making these little comments like, bless her heart, she doesn't know how the system works. Respectfully, I do know how the system works. Your job is to swear me in. Let me do my job, swear me in. And then we can move forward. But, this idea that if this has nothing, he keeps repeating it, it has nothing to do with Epstein. Well, if it doesn't have anything to do with Epstein, then swear me in.
Yeah,
because the
really.
only difference between myself and Representative Walkinshaw, who was sworn in September 9th. His election was September 9th. He was sworn in on September 10th, less than 24 hours after his election, is that he was the 217th signer. I would be the 218th. So
Yep.
there's the difference.
He has given every excuse he can think of as to why he hasn't sworn her in yet, or even why he can't swear her in. He told her to stop complaining and get to work, which she literally cannot do because he won't swear her in. And now he is being sued over the fact that he's denying the people of her district representation at the federal level of government. Trump, by the way, is out of the country. He is touring Asia right now. He won't be home until later this week, October 30th, and until he comes home, we cannot open back up our government. The small hope is that this gets done before November 1st, but as of today, October 28th, there has been very little movement in either direction from either party. But Election Day is around the corner. Early voting has already started, and this shutdown could potentially hurt Republican races across the country, putting pressure on Mike Johnson and pressure on Trump. Since elections are traditionally the only thing that these so-called leaders seem to care about, maybe that will help to move things along, but this particular administration doesn't seem as concerned with winning elections or with populist appeal as previous administrations for some reason. Speaker Johnson is fighting an uphill battle so hard that you have to ask, why? Why is he fighting so hard against these things that he hardly has coherent defenses for? Wouldn't it just be easier to swear in Adelita Grijalva like he's supposed to, rather than continually have to lie to the American people about why he can't swear her in when the truth is that he just won't swear her in? Well, it depends on who you ask. For most of us, yes, it would be easier if things just worked the way they were supposed to without bad actors like Speaker Johnson obstructing government functions wherever they can while complaining about bureaucracy and government inefficiency. The irony, it would be easier for everyone if everything wasn't always a fight all the time. But for Mike Johnson, he's not supposed to swear her in because if he does, that means that the Epstein files will be released, which he can't have because Trump can't have that, and Trump is the one who is truly in charge here. And I'll say that again, Trump is the one who is in charge here. He got an MRI actually recently. That's something the White House didn't want us to know about, and they didn't want us to know about it because people don't just get MRIs for no reason. So he got an MRI and he said it was perfect, or if he said the machine was perfect, it's a little unclear what he meant, which is funny because the M in MRI stands for magnetic. But now he is in Asia talking about how magnets apparently don't work once they get wet, which is why we should use more hydraulic systems in our water-based military operations and also in elevators. Between magnets and windmills, the man is stressed.
Hydraulic for your elevators or magnets. You know, the new thing is magnets. So instead of using hydraulic, you can be hit by lightning and it's fine. You take a little glass of water and you drop it on magnets. I don't know what's going to happen. So, you know, the elevators come up in the new carriers. I think I'm going to change it, by the way. They have magnets. Not every tractor has hydraulic. Every excavator, every excavating machine, of any kind has hydraulic. But somebody decided to use magnets for your elevator. Maybe they're good.
Oh, and the only reason why we use magnets so much these days is apparently because that is exactly what the Chinese want. He said back in August, you know, China intelligently went and they sort of took a monopoly of the world's magnets, and nobody needed magnets until they convinced everybody 20 years ago, let's all do magnets, Trump said. There were many other ways that the world could have gone. Hey guys, let's all do magnets. So again, this is the man who is in charge of our government. This is the man that we are all waiting on to reopen our government so that people can get paid and support their families and do whatever they can amidst all of this ongoing chaos that is actively and intentionally being inflicted upon the American people, not just the quote unquote illegals, but all of this on the American people by the same man. And the reason this man has so much power, despite his apparent cognitive decline and his demonstrated intention to dismantle our democracy, is because of people like House Speaker Mike Johnson. It's because of all of the enablers. And Trump has said as much. If he doesn't know anything, he knows at least that Johnson does and says whatever Trump wants him to. I'm the speaker and the president, the MAGA leader is understood to have said, according to the newspaper. Citing two people with knowledge of his remarks, the New York Times further notes that Johnson's conduct in office over the past several weeks, amid an ongoing shutdown, has done little to disabuse Trump of that notion or anyone else. Some people fear the shutdown may prove to be the longest and most damaging on record. So we as a nation have allowed the power of the American people to be consolidated at the very, very, very top of our government, sitting upon the shoulders of a man whose head recently got an MRI. And while I don't want to suggest that Trump should not be entirely to blame for everything he has done to this country and to our people, I do want to drive home the point that there is plenty of blame to go around for every single person who betrayed their oaths to their constituents, to their country, and to their Constitution, so that they could prop up a man who has never in his life been worthy of respect or admiration or power. Speaker Johnson is to blame for everything we are going through as much as any and everyone else within the Trump sphere. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks.